Hi there, friends. Jim Johnson coming to you from the corporate campus of Three Rivers Federal Credit Union, the company where I serve. I'm glad you've joined us today here on May 1st. As you probably already know, First Fridays Fort Wayne, we highly value the connection between leaders here in Northeast Indiana. As soon as it was evident that we could not meet at the Cashman Auditorium at Lutheran Hospital due to the coronavirus outbreak, my brother Jerry quickly pivoted and launched First Fridays Fort Wayne online. We continue to meet on the first Friday of every month in a virtual format. We still bring outstanding local leaders to share their insights with us. We still have our sessions open for a Q&A time, and we still publish these sessions on our YouTube channel and our website as well as LinkedIn. We want you to be watching in May for the First Fridays experience as we partner with Indiana Wesleyan University to present Engage 2020. Every Friday in May, we're going to feature leaders who will bring their best to us. Here's our lineup. On May 8th, my personal friend Dr. Ron Lewis will be sharing with us. On May 15th, Paige Klinkenpeel. On May 22nd, Jim and Geraldine Bogier. And finally, on May 29, Kelly Ambrioli will be sharing with us. Those of you who've been attending First Fridays this season 3, Kelly was one of our presenters this year. We're looking forward to that exciting lineup. So be looking for these events to be published on Eventbrite. Follow us on LinkedIn at First Fridays Fort Wayne. We're on Facebook too. Follow our website, which can be found at firstfridaysfw.com. And you can find our upcoming links at the top of the main page on our website. So I've been asked to share a few things about how we can stay connected during this current environment we're in. You know, we've moved meetings and events to Zoom and Skype platforms. During those times, we've been entertained by the sounds of barking dogs, children asking a parent for something to eat, or the squealing brakes of a local garbage truck in front of our house as these meetings continue to go on. We've hoped and prayed for our internet speed to hold up. I know I have at my house with 3 teenagers and my wife also working at home. We've been bombarded with emails, instant messages, and a lot more meetings. And we do all of this in relative isolation from each other. We are suffering from somebody here at my work called technology fatigue. Don't get me wrong, technology is great, but it cannot ultimately replace the face-to-face interactions that so many of us are missing. So how can you stay connected professionally during this quarantine? I'm going to share a few of those ideas, and by the way, I'll reshare these in print on our website. So first of all, how about just talking with another leader outside of your company? Pick up your phone, get on Zoom or Skype, FaceTime, whatever, and literally talk to somebody that you were connected with prior to the quarantine. It doesn't have to be work-related. It doesn't have to be about your career. Just make that person-to-person contact. You know, the other day a friend called me to ask me a couple of questions that had nothing to do with his work or my work, and we just had a chance to talk. It was so good to hear his voice. We all need this kind of interaction. Just like the old telephone commercial says, reach out and touch somebody. Well, let me rephrase that, because we're really not allowed to go out and touch anybody, and we're not supposed to be doing any of that. So, but you get the gist. Reach out to somebody. So secondly, use your LinkedIn connections. So many of you are on LinkedIn today. Fort Wayne has a very vibrant LinkedIn community. It's a great tool to stay connected. When you read somebody's post, make a comment on it or send them a message. I've been doing that a lot, and I've been receiving a lot of messages that way. It's a great way to connect. Number 3, write a note and mail it to somebody. Let me say that again. Write somebody a note and literally mail it. It still works. Encourage somebody. Tell them you're thinking of them. Ask them then to pass that idea along to somebody else to keep that going. So yeah, get out an envelope and a note card and literally write them a note and mail it. If you don't want to do that, you can always go back to email. You know, about once a month, I pick a few people in our community and I try to send an email out just to thank them for their contribution to our community. I thank them how their company is positively impacting us all. I think it makes a difference to them. Why don't you try that idea? It's a great way to connect with others. Those who know me know what I'm going to say next. Why don't you recommend a book or a podcast to listen to? Now, a lot of us have different social media channels that we interact on. So on there, share a book you've read or you're currently reading, or a podcast you're listening to it, and tell us about it. Recommend that, because there's a lot of us out there who are looking for the next book to read or a new podcast to listen to. You can be a resource for somebody's personal and professional growth by doing that. What a great way to connect with others. The sixth way you can connect is through what First Fridays is all about, and that's network. Even in the midst of a quarantine, you can network. First Fridays has continued on. We haven't missed a beat because of our online events. And as I just shared, we've got some great events coming up in May. Organizations like Greater Fort Wayne has offered a variety of sessions with flexible times and days to connect with others. Take advantage of those opportunities. Make technology work for you to network. It does work. And finally, and I think this is one of the most important ways, is to give back. We know how devastating this quarantine has been. So many businesses are at risk of closing, never to open again. In fact, last night, my son and I were driving around town, and we drove by a business that had been open just not even a month ago. It has shut its doors, and there's a for sale sign on the property. It's horrible what's going on. So your way to give back is, what a lot of us are doing right now, is order takeout from a local restaurant. That encourages them. Maybe buy a t-shirt from them. Something that simple. Or companies that offer products, get online and buy those products. It will encourage them. It will help keep their business going. A lot of us need to be very engaged in that. I was at Coney Island last night, and I talked to one of the owners, and he said that sales have been down 40%. I'm not surprised, but 40%. So it's really incumbent upon us to keep our local economy going by getting out and supporting them. In fact, just the other day, I went online and I ordered a t-shirt and some hand sanitizer from Fort Wayne Distillery Company, right here in Fort Wayne. Three Rivers Distillery Company, sorry about that, Three Rivers. It was a very simple way to support a local company who's now pivoted their business to help all of us in need, especially with those little sanitizers. And you know what? It was an investment of $24 for me to do that. So get out there and give back, support our local businesses. Like you, I hope this quarantine comes to an end very, very soon. We need to get our economy going and growing again. But in the meantime, I want to encourage you to do what you can to connect with other local leaders. Let's keep our community's foundation strong. Encourage one another. Help one another. And as my new t-shirt says, we're better together. Thank you. Have a great week, and let's hope all this ends soon. Thanks.